Hey everyone, welcome back to my studying. Here we are with last chapters in the Great Hunt. But first, a quick summary.
Let's start right out. Hey, what happened?
We have Nynaeve and Elaine, as I thought, staying around to try to figure a way to help Egwene. And Nynaeve discovers that she can use channel power, in a way that will help her remove the colors. And she just gets super angry and gets the job done. And she hops on Bail Dolomon's ship to escape by the sea. And that part's that. Now, back at Rand's group, Matt, Rand, Perrin, Ingtar, and the Sniffer Hurim, they enter Falme. And of course, they do this because they want to retrieve the dagger and the horn. But the Aes Sedai Verin that's with them, they enter Falme and they try to, of course, retrieve the MacGuffins, plural, the dagger and, of course, the horn. However, Verin, the Aes Sedai that's accompanying them, she kind of gives them a warning. Well, she gives Rand a warning that if they channel, or if Rand channels, that Shaenchan can sense when a man touches the power. Then they go to the house of the Shaenchan Lord, where Rand kills him in cold blood. And then they, of course, escape with the dagger and the horn. But there's more. Rand suddenly sees Egwene, and of course, being the Rand that he is, he cannot leave her behind. And then we find out what I kind of suspected for some time now, that Ingtar, in fact, is a dark friend. But there's a twist. He is a dark friend, but he wishes to return to the light. He's someone who has been on the side of the bad guys, but had a change of heart. And he stays behind, sort of. Does he sacrifice himself? I think he does. Then we have a confrontation between White Cloaks, which are led by the Bornhold, Joffrin Bornhold, and the Shaenchan. I was hoping for this confrontation. Wasn't as epic as I wished for, but it was still pretty effective. Matt blows the horn. Matt, of all people, not Rand, not Perrin, Matt, which kind of gives them opportunity to escape to safety. And lo and behold, heroes, which were led by Orter Hawking, poof, appear. But even though they claim they know who Rand is, which I presume they know that he's a reincarnation of Lewis Terran, they claim that they need a dragon banner that Rand had from the start, that Moraine sent him. And with this, Perrin raises the banner and Shaenchan are driven back. So this way, everyone contributed to the fight in some way. Now, the fight with the big bad happens. Rand fights again Balsamon, and this big flashy duel in the sky, and it's sort of neat because the way their sky duel, aerial duel, whatever you want to call it, is happening in the sky, it's reflected to the battle below them. And eventually Rand kind of pulls out a bit of a self-destructive maneuver where he opens himself to be wounded, but doing so he strikes Balsamon, who goes away. And so the end is Rand being very wounded and having a bit of a chat with Min, Elaine, and Egwene. Well, chat is kind of a strong word. Min is kind of the whole time with him as he is in and out of it, and Elaine visits him as well, and Egwene comes as well, and I think it's Egwene that is kind of hesitant to go closer to him, but surprise, surprise, Lanfear, as I thought, blood, from the prophecy, reappears, and she tells Rand that he is the one she's been waiting for, and so on and so forth, and it ends. Questions. Question number 1. So we have confirmation, or maybe this was confirmed earlier and I'm just a dummy, that Shaenchan are in fact Shadowspawn. It is my fault, I guess. I just didn't see the exact connection. Next question is more of an observation. So Egwene can find or sense, or this is interesting, but I guess it will have to do with something in the future. So far it's just an interesting tidbit. Is it her trait? I guess. Follow-up question is, we know that various Aes Sedai, aside from their Aes Sedai abilities and training, have their own distinctive, unique traits to them. Like Varen can feel things around her, or how Min can sort of see the future, or something like that. So, and Varen can sense things like channeling. I suppose that's what this is. Next question. Also more of an observation than a question in itself. We know that Suldam, the Shaenchan, who are essentially slavers, the women who control Damane, the enslaved Aes Sedai, we find out that they can apparently channel, in a sense, or they can learn to channel. They have an aptitude for it. It's still kind of vague, unclear to me at least, but I'm sure it will be relevant in the books to come. Another question is about the banner, the dragon banner. How does this banner work? Are the heroes of old kind of bound to it? Are they summoned through time? How does it work? Or again, does it work for anyone? Because the horn, we've been told that whoever kind of gets to the horn first and blows it is the one who is in control of the forces that are summoned by it, be it a dark friend or someone who is from the light. But does the same go with banner? I don't think it does, but I'm not sure either way. Does it work for anyone, or just when some kind of special conditions are met? Last question is, so Heron's mark is literally branded onto Rand's hand when it melted after the fight with Balsamon. Will this hold any kind of significance, or is it just a cool scar? Because cool scars are cool. or will it be relevant in some kind? And a follow-up question, which is kind of a not a prediction, just an observation for future books. I'm wondering if Rand will obtain a new weapon which will not be a blade, or will he reforge a blade? I hope he doesn't reforge his blade. I know that as further as we go, and even through this book, Robert Jordan kind of deviated a lot from the Tolkien formula. And I hope he continues to do so, because Isildur connections and everyone else, let's just not do that. And yeah, what I liked that there is enough moral ambiguity in Robert Jordan's writing for people to question their beliefs. So it's not only that someone can be seduced by the Dark One to evil, but someone who has been an ne'er-do-well can return to light. So, and despite everything, I do still very much like Ingtar as a character. Ironically, I think he had more development than Matt in this book, which is sad. I also really enjoyed Doman as a side character. I don't know if you could even count him as a side character in this book. He gets less POV time than the others, but he's super essential. So maybe, well, I guess he still is a side character, but an enjoyable one. Also, Min. Min is becoming one of my favorites as well. I hope she sticks around. And my last point, which I did not expect, and on which I'll expand a bit more in the book review. I know I complained a lot in the past videos about love triangles, but I actually think this was done quite well. This wasn't so much as a love triangle, more of like adults making decisions and prioritizing some things over others, like a part with Min where she confronts Egwene, and when Egwene says that no one can and should marry Rand because you cannot, you know what he is, he's just too dangerous, too unpredictable, it will be disastrous. And Min responds that, to paraphrase, you quickly tossed him aside for White Tower. Why do you care if I choose him? And and Egwene did not fight, did not throw a hissy fit. She just went away. Which adult stuff, adults doing adult stuff. Let's move on to things I did not like. I mentioned previously that I didn't care too much about Jordan's conlanging, but that was with the sort of addendum of, even though I didn't like his conlanging, I did like his naming, mostly names, character names, places, things like that. But in this book, it kind of got ridiculous at sometimes. There was this name, Tel Ar Riot. I'm probably butchering it, but as soon as I see more than one apostrophe in a fantasy name of any kind, in this case, it's just one syllable away from being a parody, if it's not already. What else I did not enjoy? Even though the conflict between Shaenchan and Darkcloaks was interesting, the fact that they turned out to be Darkspawn, which again may as well be my fault if I didn't pay attention enough. I was kind of hoping they'd stay like a separate faction who got thrown into this conflict that already exists between the good and evil. But I understand that since the wheel weaves as the wheel wills, being an independent party makes things difficult. So I understand if it's not a possibility for a separate side to operate completely independently from free of others' influence or action. My last point that I did not like were the white cloaks. I mean, I did paint them as bumbling independent buffoons, and they did throw a fight, but kind of, I don't think the build-up was quite worth it. Which is fine, I guess. They are a bunch of lunatics anyway, so Next is predictions.
Well, it's only a guess, but it's all I have to go on.
This is going to be very short because I'm going to make a separate review video. Essentially, I think the next book will dedicate more time to other cast members. Presumably, Rand will not be magically healed at the beginning of the next book. He will be hurt, and that will maybe allow for the narrative to take back seat for his POV, since he will be recovering through the book. Predictions. Well, one of my predictions came true. Lanfear was Celine. Shocked and appalled, let me tell you. No, I'm not. She is an interesting character. I wonder what development will happen with her. Well, since more seals were broken, weakened, does this mean that more Forsaken will be set loose in the world? Potentially. Very likely, I would even say. And I predict that we haven't seen the last of the White Cloaks, because this was just one army led by one leader. So, yeah. And that would be it. Thank you for watching, and see you next time when I'll review The Great Hunt. And I'll be moving to book 3 very soon.